Optical Thunderbolt, Instagram for Android, Spotify for Germany, HBO cooperating with Apple, 2 to 3 week ship times for the new iPad, and more AT&T LTE cities. It's Tuesday, March 13th, 2012, and this is iWake. I'm Tim Chatton, and this is what's going on in the Apple world today. Before beginning today's episode, I first want to let everyone know that the iWake podcast app is now out in the App Store for iOS users. The app will let you stream, download, and access the podcast even when I forget to update the RSS feed, which is rare, but it can happen. Most importantly, it is a great way to show your support of iWake. You can find it in the App Store by searching for iWake. It is universal, so it'll run great on the iPad and iPhone. It is $3, and I hope it's worth every penny. Also, make sure to subscribe to my weekend podcast, iWake Again. This paid podcast is the best way to support this show, and it's what funds the daily iWake podcast. Without your financial support at iWake Again, this podcast you have enjoyed for many months will not be able to continue. So please, if you have not subscribed to yet, basically is what I'm trying to say here, is do so today. I imagine most of you have a spare $10 that you can just throw towards it every month to help make this a career of podcasting. And so I can continue this show for many years and perhaps decades to come. Sign up today over at iWakePodcast.com/again. That's iWakePodcast.com/again. With that, let's get on to the news for the day. To kick off today's episode is some Mac news. To begin is Intel. They've started to work on faster Thunderbolt standards. The work will incorporate PCI Express 3.0. Currently, they use 2.0. According to Mac Rumors, PCI Express 3.0 offers a 60% boost in raw data transfer speed compared to the PCI Express 2.0, going from 5 giga transfers per second to 8 giga transfers per second, but significantly lower overhead requirements in PCI 3, meaning that the effective bandwidth can be doubled by moving to this latest standard. Meanwhile, Macworld reports that Intel is adding optical cable support to Thunderbolt later this year. According to Dave Salvatore, an Intel spokesman, optical cables will provide more bandwidth and longer cables in the future. All around great news on the Thunderbolt front. Thunderbolt is a great technology that I would love to see take off, and hopefully these two things add to its ever-growing expansion. The last bit of Mac news is a new version of Safari that just came out yesterday. According to Mac Rumors, Safari 5.1.4 for OS X Lion includes changes that improve JavaScript performance of up to 11% over the previous version, improve responsiveness when typing in the search field after changing network configurations or losing network connection, addresses an issue that would cause websites to flash, when you have lots of RAM usage, things like that, it can happen. Addresses an issue that prevented printing of U.S. Postal Service shipping labels and embedded PDFs. Kind of a cool fix there. It preserves links in PDFs saved from web pages and fixes a lot of other things. You can check out the full show notes, or the full release notes, I should say, over at Mac Rumors and on Apple's website. Safari 5.1.4 weighs in at 44.71 megabytes for Lion users, 47.52 for Snow Leopard users, and 36.72 for Windows users. It's available in the software update. Go ahead and update. Now on to some app news. To begin is a nifty little alarm clock app for iOS. I discovered this one after seeing Jim Dalrymple post it over at The Loop. The app is called If Alarm. Here is the pretty wild description of what it does from the developers, Digital Nomad. If Alarm is the first ever alarm clock to set alarms not just by times, but also real-world conditions. If alarms are set like they're said, in plain English, just like Siri. If it's a beautiful day, wake me up at sunrise. If I slept at least 6 hours, wake me shortly after. If it's been raining, wake me up around 7, otherwise at 8. If it's been snowing and it's a clear day, wake me up at sunrise. Otherwise, don't wake me at all. If Alarm keeps track of the details while asleep and intelligently wakes you up when asked, in plain English. So If Alarm is an incredibly cool app. The killer feature for me is the sunrise feature. How cool would it be if we all woke up at sunrise and actually started the day when the sun came out? Apps like these make it possible. The app is killer for those that need to plan ahead for bad weather as well if you commute to work. If Alarm for iPhone is a $2 app available right now in the App Store. In other app news is Instagram. and it's coming to Android evidently, and it's coming pretty soon. The co-founder of Instagram, Kevin Systrom, told TechCrunch, "I don't think it took us too long. We just had our priorities. Had we tried to do both Android and iPhone at the same time, it would have been tough to innovate in the way that we would have. We've been very lucky with scaling. The difference is that we've served out the cloud, and we can call up instances with the demand. We had a fantastic team that focuses on scaling." So not too much info from the co-founder there, but some interesting tidbits there. The Instagram folks showed off a beta of the app at South by Southwest, and by all reports, it looks to be an impressive app that runs even faster than the iOS version. I personally love the fact that Instagram is iOS only. It's a cool thing to know that all these photos originate from an iPhone, iPod Touch, or iPad, or some kind of Apple device. So that honeymoon phase will soon be over, but it should be good for all those Android folks out there. Before moving on to augmented comic books, I first want to mention that Spotify has officially launched today in Germany. The service has added a number of German artists, bringing the total catalog to more than 16 million songs, and the premium service that adds mobile access costs €10 a month or $13.13 per month. Congrats to those in Germany. Spotify is a pretty cool service, and especially awesome as a free service on laptops and desktops as kind of a Pandora replacement. And just congrats to those that live in Germany. Hope you enjoy it. Last up in app news today is another announcement out of South by Southwest. First Instagram, now this announcement from Marvel Comics. They've announced a nifty new feature that adds augmented reality to your comic books. According to The Verge, with the technology, when you get to designated spots in your comic books, say a certain page number, you'll be prompted to open up the Marvel AR app on your iOS or Android device and point it at the page, enabling an overlay with a 3D character. Also included are AR-powered commentaries from the artists and writers behind the stories, sort of like DVD bonus features for comics. The new feature will be included for free with purchase of Marvel AR-enabled print comics, starting with Avengers vs. X-Men #1 in April. These new features are pretty cool and sound pretty incredible. Provide one more reason you might want to opt with the paper edition, which tends to actually cost less than the digital edition. I would hope that they add these AR features to the digital comic on the iPad, and you can just point your iPhone at the iPad. As mentioned earlier, these comics are expected to arrive sometime next month in April. Moving on is some iTunes-related news. To begin is some rather exciting news. The Wall Street Journal has talked to HBO, and the movie studios that are currently blocked from iTunes and cloud because of their deals with HBO will soon be unblocked and available in the coming weeks. According to the site, HBO isn't planning to give up its exclusive windows, for which it pays hundreds of millions of dollars a year for, and which allow it to beam movies to its online service, HBO Go, as well as its traditional TV channels. But HBO is relaxing terms to let users of iCloud and other services send movies they already own to other devices during those windows. HBO agreed to loosen its arrangement with Warner Brothers, which is working with iCloud, and also is in talks with Universal and Fox to do the same. This is amazing news. I was looking at Aliens, Alien 3, all those movies are owned by Fox, and they're not available for iTunes in the cloud. So hopefully this will happen soon. A couple weeks is what the reports are saying. I figured it would take at least a year for this to happen. So thank you, HBO, for understanding our needs as iTunes users and making everybody happy in this situation. Closing out iTunes news are discounted seasons of Community. Community is a NBC comedy show that is relaunching this Thursday evening. I bought all of these seasons earlier this year. Apple's now selling them at a discount. Seasons 1 and 2 for $20 in SD and $25 for HD. Also to note is that Season 3 is only $20 for an HD season pass. I paid $50 for the season pass just a few months ago, and really wish I waited for this amazing sale. I got kind of furious when they put the show on hold after buying a season pass just a few weeks earlier. If you enjoy good comedy, now is the time to buy these seasons. Just search for Community in iTunes to buy them. Closing out the show today is some iPad-related news. To begin, delivery times on the new iPad have slipped from March 19th to 2 to 3 weeks. If you want a new iPad and did not pre-order, you'll have to wait in line on launch day, or just wait the 2 to 3 weeks, which would not be that unbearable. In related news, it appears that 8 a.m. will be the launch time of the new iPad on that Friday of release, not the traditional 5 p.m. that I was expecting. The Houston Chronicle notes that the new Houston Highland Village Apple Store has just sent out an official notice that they will be having their grand opening on Friday, March 16th at 8 a.m., which is 2 hours earlier than normal opening times. Nothing too unexpected here, but cool news all the less. I should note Apple is not confirming the launch time of the iPad just yet, but this new store opening is a good sign. Thanks to the Cult of Mac for highlighting the store launch. Relating to the new iPad is LTE, and this is the story that's closing out today's show. AT&T yesterday outlined its plans to launch 4G LTE services in over a dozen cities over the next 3 months. Or I should say, just a dozen cities. These cities include Cleveland, New Orleans, St. Louis, and Staten Island in New York City. Other cities to get LTE this spring are Akron, Ohio, Canton, Ohio, Naples, Florida, Bloomington, Indiana, Lafayette, Indiana, Muncie, Indiana, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and Byron College Station in Texas. And it's great to see my old hometown of Indiana getting LTE coverage from AT&T. Now, if only AT&T could expand out LTE to Hawaii. Verizon has already pushed out LTE to 3 of the islands, Maui, Oahu, and the Big Island, Hawaii. And I would love to see LTE make it from AT&T out here, as my next iPad perhaps will be an AT&T one, as I currently have an unlimited data plan with them and plan on carrying that over to my iPad 3. Well, that's what's going on in the Apple world today. If you like this show, and I hope you do, I really do, head on over to iTunes and leave a review. Don't forget also to subscribe to what funds this very show you're listening to and makes it possible. I need more subscribers to make it possible, and it needs to happen. So I really hope you guys can head on over and subscribe to my weekend podcast where I do interviews, discussions, and just me just going off on cool topics. It's this show. It's called iWake Again. We're going to wake up to iWake yet again, another day of the week. It's over at iWakePodcast.com/again. Your support here is badly needed for the show to continue on. If you can't afford the $10 a month, head on over to iWakePodcast.com/donate, where you can donate whatever you want to help the show continue on. Thanks for watching, and join me tomorrow for another edition of iWake. Aloha.